Blender beginner tutorial. In this video you will learn how to make a table using Blender 2.9. So let's get started. First of all, we need a reference image of the table we want to model. So go to the front view with one numpad key, select this object with a box selection tool with B key and delete them with X key. Press Shift A and in the menu you can select the image you want. So go to image, background, and go to the folder and select the image of the table. Now move the table up like this, and you can also add another image, reference image here. So select this button and go to image editor, open the folder and select the image here. Click here to pin the image, so it will not disappear if you change the workspace like this. Now to model this table we need a cylinder to model the top of the table. So select with Shift A, go to mesh and select cylinder. Change the number of vertices to 12. Go to the edit mode with tab key and in the wireframe with the Z key move the cylinder up like this and scale the cylinder on the Z axis. So press SZ. Move it up a little bit like this and scale it on the X and Y by pressing S Shift Z like this. And now go to the face selection mode. In the solid view select this face and insert another face with I key and move the mouse like this. Go to the front view, in the wireframe extrude on the Z axis like this. Now we select these faces with Alt and the left mouse button, go to the front view and scale and Shift Z to scale it on the X and Y axis like this. Go to the solid shade view and now we have the top of the table, and we can add the subdivision surface, increment the level viewport, and now we can add some faces. So here select this face and insert another face with I key and scale it like this. Do the same up here, so insert another face with I key and scale with S key. You can add two other edge loops here with Ctrl R and use the middle mouse button, add two edge loops like this, and you can scale them on the Z axis like this. Add two other edge loops here. Okay, now in the object mode click on the right mouse button and choose shade smooth like this. Now go to the front view and we continue to model the leg of the table. So add another cylinder and in the edit mode and wireframe Move the cylinder up to this position here, and now scale it on the X and Y by pressing S Shift Z. S Shift and Z to scale it on the X and Y axis like this. Go to the vertex selection mode and deselect all the vertices with Alt A. Select these vertices and move them down like this. And now we need to add edge loops on the cylinder, so we Ctrl R, add another edge loop and move it up right there. Add two other edge loops here, one edge loop here and another edge loop here. Okay, deselect all the vertices and select these vertices with box selection tool and scale it on the X and Y by pressing S and Shift Z like this. Add another edge loop in the middle here and scale with S key. Add another edge loop here and scale with S key. Another one here, scaling with S key, and move it up on the Z axis, scale it with S key like this. Another edge loop here and scale it. Another one here and scale it with S key. Okay, go to the object mode to see, and in the solid shader to see the result of the modeling. Okay, now we continue the modeling of this piece in the edit mode. So go to the edit mode with tab key, and in the wireframe with the Z key, add an edge loop here and another one here. Scale it like this. Another one here and scale it with S key like this. Another one here and scale it with S key. Another one here, scale it with S key. Another one here and scale it with S key like this. And another one and scale it with S key and move it up a little bit like this. Now we need to add another edge loop here. Scale it with S key. Another one here and scale it with S key. Another one here and scale it with S key like this. And another one here and scale it with S key like this. Now we need another edge loop here and scale it with S key like this. Go to the face selection mode and select with these faces with Alt and the left mouse button, or with the B key. So deselect the faces and press P and select these faces, and you can extrude with E key. Scale on the X and Y by pressing S and Shift Z like this. Okay, in the solid shader you can see the shape of the leg. Now we continue the modeling. So we need other edge loops, so one here and scale it like this, another one here and scale it, another one here, scale it with S key, another one here and scale it with S key like this. Or maybe select all these edges here and scale on the X and Y with S and Shift Z like this. Go to the vertex selection mode, select these vertices and scale them a little bit like this. Select these vertices and move them down like this. Go to the solid shader and go to object mode with type key and add a subdivision surface. Increment the levels viewport here. Click with the right mouse button and choose shade smooth. Okay, so here we have the shape of the leg, and now we need to add an edge loop here and go to the face selection mode and please press Shift H to hide the other piece of the table. Go to the edit mode, Alt H. So in the face selection mode, insert face with I key and delete it with the X key like this. We need some other edge loops, one here and another one here, another one here. Okay, maybe another one here and another one here and another one here. Do the same thing here like the top. So in the face selection mode, select this face and insert another face with I key and delete it with the X key. Okay, so now we have a nice looking leg of table. So go to the object mode with tab key and press Alt H to unhide the other piece of the table. Press Alt A to deselect everything. So now we have the beginning of the table. Here we select the leg and we select this piece and the top of the table. Go to the front view. So go to the edit mode. In the face selection mode, select this face and these faces with Alt and the left mouse button. Go to the front view and move them down on the Z axis like this. Go to the object mode with tab key and deselect everything with Alt A. Okay, now we need to model the bottom part of the table. So go to the front view and with Shift A add a cube. Go to edit mode with tab key and in the wireframe with Z key scale the cube and move it up on the Z axis like this. Okay, now select this face, go to the front view and move it up right there. Okay, in the solid shader view you can see the bottom of the table, and now we will model the other piece of the table here. So go to the object mode, and in the front view add a cube, and go to edit mode with tab key, and in the wireframe scale this cube and move it right there. Okay, like this. Select this face and move it up to there. So now move this face like this, extrude with E key, and move it to the right like this, and select this face and extrude with E key and move it down on the Z axis like this. Now we need to add some edge loops here in the middle, one here, another one here, and another one here. So now in the vertex selection mode, deselect all the vertices and select these vertices with the box selection tool and move it down on the Z axis. Deselect with these vertices with the middle mouse button, move this down like this, right there. Deselect all the vertices and select these vertices and move them down right there. Deselect these vertices and select all these vertices and move them down on the Z axis like this. Deselect all the vertices, select these vertices with the box selection tool and move them on the X axis like this. Okay, now you can see the shape of the piece here. Go to the object mode, and now we need to add an array modifier. So go to modifiers and add an array modifier here. Deselect this relative offset and select object offset, and now we need to add an empty object. So with shift A, go to empty and choose plane axis, select this piece, and in the object select on this icon and choose the empty in the viewport. So now if we rotate this empty on the Z axis like this, so by pressing R and Z, you can see the another piece with the same shape. So now we need to choose the angle of the rotation. So press R and Z and press 90 on the RZ and 45 RZ and 90 on the numpad keys. Okay, now select this piece and increment the number of counts to 4. Okay, so now we have the shape of the piece we see here. Select this piece and press shift H to hide the other pieces. Go to object mode, in the face selection mode select this face and delete it with X key. And now we can add a subdivision surface and increment the levels, and now we need to add other edge loops. So add an edge loop here, add two edge loops here, and scale it on the x-axis, on the y-axis with SY. Okay, and another one here, Control R, and add another one here. Okay, so now we have a nice looking piece. And to have a smooth shader, so click with the right mouse button and choose Shade Smooth. Press Alt H to unhide all the other pieces, and now we have the table we want. Good. So now we can save with Ctrl S, give a name to our table, and click on Save Blender File. The last piece we need to model is this piece under the top of the table. So in the front view, add a cube with Shift A, and in the mesh menu select a cube, and in edit mode with tab key and wireframe with Z key, move the cube to the top like this and scale it to fit the piece in the background image like this. In the face selection mode, select this face and move it to the right on the x-axis, extrude with E key. In the vertex selection mode, deselect all the vertices and select these vertices with box selection tool and move them up like this. Deselect all the vertices, select these vertices and move them to the left like this. With X key, delete the face, select faces to delete the face in the left of the piece, and do the same with this face on the top. Delete them with X key. Go to the solid shader, and now we can add a subdivision surface, increment the levels of the viewport, and we can add some edge loops. So with Ctrl R and the middle mouse button, add two edge loops here, scale them on the y-axis with SY, add another edge loop here, another one here, and another one here. Go to the object mode and with the right mouse button click on the piece and choose Shade Smooth like this. And now select this piece of the table, with Shift S choose cursor to selected, or go to the edit mode and select this edge loop with the Alt key and the left mouse button, and press Shift S and choose cursor to selected here. Select this piece and go to object and choose set origin to 3D cursor like this. And now with this piece selected, add an array modifier. Okay, and deselect relative offset and choose object offset, and with Shift A add an empty object, choose plane axis like this. With this piece selected, choose this empty object we added here, and rotate this empty object on the z-axis by 90 degrees. So press RZ 90 like this. So here we have 2 pieces, and we increment the count to 4 to have 4 pieces of the same shape like this. Deselect all the objects with Alt A. So now you have the table modeled in Blender 2.9. This is the end of the video. I hope you like it. You can give me a feedback in the comment. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell to see the next videos.